On the night of April 14th, 1865, just days after the end of the Civil War, the nation was still reeling from the years of conflict that had torn it apart. The air was thick with a mixture of relief and uncertainty as people began to imagine a future without war. President Abraham Lincoln, a man who had led the country through its darkest days, sought a brief respite from the pressures of his office. He decided to attend a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C., a popular venue for entertainment in the capital. The play that evening was Our American Cousin, a comedy that promised a night of laughter and distraction. As Lincoln and his wife, Mary Todd Lincoln, settled into their seats in a private box above the stage, they were joined by Major Henry Rathbone and his fiancée, Clara Harris. The mood was light, and the audience was engrossed in the performance. Little did they know, a sinister plot was unfolding just a few feet away. John Wilkes Booth, a well-known actor and Confederate sympathizer, had meticulously planned his attack. He knew the layout of the theater well and used his familiarity to gain access to the president's booth. Booth was driven by a fervent belief that he could alter the course of history by eliminating Lincoln, whom he saw as a tyrant. At around 10:15 p.m., as the play reached a particularly humorous moment, Booth saw his opportunity. He entered the box and, with a single bullet from a Derringer pistol, shot Lincoln in the back of the head. The sound of the gunshot was initially mistaken for part of the performance, but the reality quickly set in. Chaos erupted as Booth leapt onto the stage, shouting, "Sic semper tyrannis," meaning, "thus always to tyrants." His dramatic escape was marred by a broken leg, but he managed to flee the theater. The audience, in shock and disbelief, struggled to comprehend the gravity of what had just occurred. Despite immediate efforts to save him, Lincoln was carried across the street to the Peterson House, a nearby boarding house. Doctors worked tirelessly through the night, but the wound was fatal. The president lay unconscious, surrounded by his wife and a few close friends, as the nation held its breath. In the early hours of April 15th at 7:22 a.m., Abraham Lincoln succumbed to his wound. The room fell silent as the weight of the moment sank in. The president who had fought so hard to preserve the Union was gone, leaving a nation in mourning. John Wilkes Booth fled into the night, sparking one of the largest manhunts in American history. For 12 days he evaded capture, hiding in forests and barns, aided by a network of Confederate sympathizers. His flight came to an end on April 26th, when Union soldiers cornered him in a Virginia barn. Refusing to surrender, Booth was shot and killed. The assassination shocked a nation still recovering from war. The news spread quickly, and the country was plunged into deep mourning. Abraham Lincoln became the first U.S. president to be assassinated, a tragic milestone that underscored the fragility of the nation's newfound peace. His funeral procession was a somber affair, with thousands lining the streets to pay their respects. Lincoln's death marked the end of an era, but his legacy endured. He had sought to reunite a divided nation, and in death, he became a symbol of unity and resilience. The tragedy of his assassination served as a poignant reminder of the cost of division and the enduring power of hope and reconciliation.